Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Silent breed is people!
One morning, I shot an elephant in my pajamas. How he got in my pajamas, I don't know.
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
E.T. Phone Home.
It's Hard-Headed Sports with Spinney and Fetty Bus. Famous for their podcasts, you can now catch them right here on the Al Travis Show.
And we've got him, Fetty Bus, with us today from Hard-Headed Sports. Fetty, how you doing, my friend?
Doing well, Al. How are you doing this morning?
Well, good. Just before we went on talking, there's so much stuff going on. It's a great weekend for sports watchers and, you know, the weather. We're getting a little fall, a little rain down here. Maybe it'd be a good weekend just to sit in the garage, watch some sports, smoke some cigars. I'm excited. I'm doing good. The Mariners looked like they're going to just, throw Detroit to, or the Blue Jays to the side. But yesterday the Blue Jays came out and said, no, we're still in this. I think they won 13-4 in a slammer. But this now series is tied 2-1, or is that 2-1? Your thoughts on the Mariners and Blue Jays? Blue Jays got enough, or is it just a bad pitching outing for the Mariners?
Blue Jays, I definitely still think are in this for sure. The bats finally got going for the Blue Jays. That's kind of their bread and butter is their offense. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr., I mean, if you got a guy like that, a superstar like that who's going to show up in big moments, you always have a chance. 4 for 4 last night. Yeah.
So they're playing again tonight, so good baseball to watch. On the other side, the Dodgers are up 2-0 against the Brewers, but the Brewers haven't shown up.
Yeah, that series I think is a wrap. I hate to say it, but you can't go down. You can't lose both of your home games and then go back to Los Angeles down 2-0. I just don't see it.
Well, with no bats, didn't I see something you texted or something that they hadn't had more than 5 hits in 16 innings or something like that?
Yeah, let me just look at the box score quick. They had, I think it's 8 hits in 18 innings in the 2 games. Okay. 8 hits total. It's like,
well, that's what I'm saying. They didn't show up.
Dodgers.
And is that because the Dodgers pitching is that good and that deep, or is just the whole team goes into a slump and it just kind of builds on each other?
Yeah, I mean, they're at least their first 2 pitchers here, right? Blake Snell and Yamamoto. I mean, those guys are aces. Snell has a Cy Young within the last year or two. Yamamoto is obviously a young ace for them, and you get 8 innings out of Snell and 9 innings out of Yamamoto. I mean, they haven't even had to go into their bullpen yet. It's crazy. Yeah,
so that one we're considered wrapped up, right? All right, let's talk little Minnesota Twins if we can. I don't know if you caught this or not. Ryan Kreider is one of the people we ended up picking up, a utility guy through that getting rid of, what's his name, Castro's deal. Some former Tiger guy named Kreidler. And then the other story today is Nick Punto is in the mix for possibly being the next manager of the Minnesota Twins. Doesn't that get you fired up?
Wow.
Nick Punto I'm like, okay, he played with us like 100 years ago.
I didn't even see that. I actually loved Nick Punto when he was here, so wouldn't be opposed to that. But again, as we always say, it never really falls on the manager with the Minnesota Twins here. So we can hire whoever we want, but if our front office doesn't try to put money into the team and improve the team, the manager's not really going to be able to do too much.
Well, I know players can be good coaches, but that isn't a gimme, right? What makes us think Nick Punto is all of a sudden, well, I think because he is a name, like you say, good guy while he was here, but we can get him on the cheap. That's what I think. You're not going to pay for a name brand coach. Let's just go to the cheap.
Yeah, that's probably exactly why we're looking at him. I'm not sure if he's even been in a clubhouse for any other team, or if this would be his first coaching opportunity.
Who knows? Yeah, I don't have any idea either. So anyway, that was the news for the Twins front. The Kreidler guy, I guess, I don't care. He's a utility guy, batted 187 or something.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that guy, honestly.
Yeah, so we got him coming our way, which really makes the guy feel good. On another sport, real quick before we go to break, the NHL, all of a sudden I look up and the Wild are in last place. Now, we've only played 4 games, right? We're 2-2. it isn't a loss. The folks in number 1, Colorado, are 3-0 and 1 overtime loss. I mean, it's not over with, but man, we started out hot and we're 2-2. Are we still okay with the Wild? We're not worried yet.
No, I wouldn't be too worried yet. You got your stud Kaprizov locked up long term. That was the big goal heading into this season, and it's definitely not the way you wanted to start the season. But it's a long, grueling season, just like the NBA season. So we have a long ways to go.
And that all starts on next Tuesday, so we'll be chatting about that when we get back in here on Tuesday. But with that, you talked about getting the Kaprizov nailed down for long term. I don't know how the salary cap works in hockey. Is that such a large contract we won't have people to fill in behind him, and we're one lower body injury away from not having that guy on the field and have nothing left?
Yeah, no, the salary cap for the NHL is not very big. I do believe that was the highest paid NHL deal of all time.
Yes.
Yeah. So no, that could definitely hinder us in making out our rest of our roster. But when you have a guy like that, you kind of, especially in Minnesota, you don't really have a way of keeping him here except for offering him that type of money. So I understand.
And to get people to continue to go, unlike the Twins who gutted the system, they said, no, we're going to keep this guy who is that good, who's a once-in-a-lifetime kind of player. I'm glad they spent the money. We'll have to work it through. Got to go to break. When we come back, we'll talk some Vikings and Gophers. I've got him, Fetty Bus from Hard Headed Sports.
When the stakes are high at the Minnesota Capitol, you need more than a lobbyist. You need a partner. At Momentum Advocacy, we bring nearly 90 years of combined experience in government relations, public affairs, and strategic communications. From nonprofits to national corporations, we help organizations navigate Minnesota's political landscape with integrity, insight, and results. Whether you need legislative champions or headlines, Momentum Advocacy delivers. For more, visit momentum-advocacy.com. Momentum Advocacy, your friends at the Capitol.
Think about it. Now that school's back in session, how are Minnesota students doing? Not very well. Minnesota ACT scores fell again last year and are the lowest they've been in 10 years. In fact, fewer than half of Minnesota students can either read or do math at grade level. Think about it. We used to brag about our schools. Now we're losing to states like Mississippi. Visit AmericanExperiment.org for more information. Think About It is brought to you by Center of the American Experiment, Minnesota's think tank.
The Al Travis Show, the last place you can go and hear all sides. Respectful, thoughtful, and grateful.
We've got him, Fetty Buzz from Hard Headed Sports. Pick him up wherever you get your podcast. Fetty, let's go through a little the NFL for the weekend. If we're looking at teams that matter for us, New Orleans is playing at Chicago. New Orleans isn't New Orleans of old. Chicago is a 4.5-point favorite there. They're at home. You good with that bet?
I think Chicago's probably going to take this one. Saints are kind of frisky. They're not your stereotypical 1-5 team that just gets killed every week. They're kind of seem to be in games most of the time, but the Bears have been playing well lately, and especially playing at home. I don't envision them choking this game. I hope so, though.
Yeah, well, of course. Green Bay is at Arizona, and Green Bay is favored by 6.5 there.
I can't trust the Cardinals at all. This team is so embarrassing. Who knows? Kyler might not play again. Marvin Harris Jr. got a concussion this past week. He might not play, especially if they don't have Kyler. They have no shot here. And after that loss to the Titans 2 weeks ago, I have zero faith in the Cardinals doing anything.
So you're going to give to Green Bay as well. Then you get down to Monday night. Two things. Why are we doing 2 Monday night games every week now? What is up with that?
Yeah, that's weird. I honestly have no idea.
All right, well, Tampa Bay is at Detroit, and Detroit's 5.5 favorites. You good with that, or is there any chance we get upset by Tampa?
5.5 is an insane line to me. I understand the Bucs are banged up right now. They might be out all of their star playmakers, just like they were this past week. But they still pulled it off this past week. Baker's on an MVP tear right now. Honestly, through 6 weeks, he is the MVP. 12 touchdowns, only 1 interception. Obviously, the Lions' offense very high-powered. I think the Bucs can squeeze this one out, honestly.
Well, and fingers crossed for that, because if not, all those teams win in our division, and you have Minnesota Vikings taking on the Philadelphia Eagles here at home. But if you're going to the line, it's saying that Philadelphia wins by 1.5. I mean, this is going to be close. Where are you falling on that?
Yeah, obviously the case for the Vikings this week would just be the Eagles have been kind of struggling as of late. 2 straight losses for them. Broncos are pretty good, but they just got steamrolled Thursday Night Football against the Giants. But the case obviously is pretty good for the Eagles too. They had the long rest, 10 days off in between their games, so they basically had a mini bye built in. And they're coming off a loss to the Giants where they got steamrolled in a game they probably should have won. So I never really like us playing a team in that kind of spot where they have a clear bounce back opportunity, kind of playing angry. And I always feel like the Vikings play worse after byes. Maybe I'm totally wrong with saying that. I have no idea, but
I get the feeling. Okay, so here we come. If that's the case, we're the only team that loses the North. We are at the bottom of the North. And I think what's interesting, you talk about, Philadelphia has a story. Well, isn't Minnesota's story? We have a bit of a quarterback controversy in that the coaches cannot come out and tell us who's going to start. You start hearing JJ talk a little bit about he's not quite 100% yet, but it's almost there. I think it's Wentz going to start. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I see that McCarthy was limited at practice yesterday. I don't know if he was even anticipated to practice already as of a Wednesday, first practice of the week. So JJ might actually start this week. He has said that JJ is the starter when he comes back. So
yeah, but you can always say his ankle still hurts, so he's not quite back yet.
Right.
But the interesting thing about this, if you start Wentz and win, lose, or draw, you literally, because we play on Thursday night next week, have 1 practice day before the next game.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, so there isn't, you don't have any wind-up time for him. If it isn't Wentz now, or it isn't JJ today, you're not throwing in with 1 day's full practice. It might be 2 more weeks yet.
Yeah, it might be 2 more weeks. Might be right with that. That's it. That is kind of a tough spot to throw
put
JJ
it
that quick.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I don't know if they just pull the Band-Aid off, if you will, and throw him in and go. But if you're going to do it, maybe you got to do it. I don't know. I'm going with Wentz.
You obviously have to make sure he's fully healthy, right? There's no real reason to rush him back with Wentz being pretty solid so far. So if he's not literally 100%, he should not play.
All right, good to go. Let's talk your Golden Gophers. end up, winning last week against the Purdue teams, 27-20, kind of a last-minute defensive deal by a Purpich kid. Win's a win. Your thoughts? They take Nebraska on here at Huntington Bank Stadium.
I don't think the Gophers are going to win this one. Sad to say, they are playing at home, so obviously that's the route you could take. Just ESPN analytics wise, take that how you want. They give Nebraska a 75% chance to win this game. Their offense is just a lot more high powered than ours, and I think that those are the type of teams that the Gophers usually struggle against because they can't score that many points to keep up with them. So our defense really needs to step up and maybe get a couple turnovers from star quarterback Dylan Raiola for Nebraska, and that's kind of the recipe for success here. But I just don't see it personally. I hate to be a pessimist, but
no, I'm just asking your honest opinion, and that's at 7:00 tomorrow night. The other, when I look ahead, though, I'm going to ask you. We're at 4-win team right now. You don't think the Iowa win? I agree with you there. Iowa's coming up. That's always tough, but we tend to lose. You have Michigan State, Oregon, Northwestern, and Wisconsin. Can you find me 2 more wins in that group to get us to bowl eligible even?
I mean, coming into this season, right, you expected to be able to beat Michigan State, Northwestern, and then at least one of Wisconsin or Iowa. I think there's still a decent chance that happens. That gets you to 7 wins.
There you go.
That's about the best we're looking at. I think that's the cap we're looking at. We have 6 games left, and I think we could probably get 3 more wins at best. So
okay, and things got to go our way to do that. So that's right enough to get us to bowl eligible, which makes us happy in Minnesota, right? Penn State, they'd be bowl eligible doing nothing, but that's all we need. That's all I need.
That's all Gopher fans apparently need. It's just to play in the whatever bowl on December 20th.
Yeah, no kidding. Let me ask you this. For folks who don't know, Fetty is a coach for the Blue Earth, our Bethany Vikings basketball team. How many MAC titles have you guys taken?
We have 3 in a row, the last 3, and 4 of the last 6.
Okay. So a bit of a winning attitude going on up there, right? When you go into the season, when your season starts here in a couple of weeks, I presume, right?
Yeah, we're full go in practice now, and then our games will start that first or second weekend of November. So,
could you imagine with that pedigree that you have up there, with what you guys instill in those kids, you must have fear. You must loathe the idea of possibly only winning half your games, right? I mean, you are expected to continue this no matter what happens as far as players and right. You guys want more out of it. Why do we accept this for Minnesota teams?
I know.
You know what I'm saying? The difference you're not going into this thinking, oh, it'll be okay, even if we don't make the tournament, it will be fine. No, that's not who you are.
Right. It's obviously a little different. Division III versus D1, but that mindset, that attitude is still the same, regardless of sport or regardless of division you're playing in. It's
that's what I'm saying, Bus.
You can do. Yeah,
you can. The better athletes, taller people, bigger people, got it. But the idea that you're going to go in there and get everything you can every time, and sometimes you're going to have better players than others, right? I mean, even in the 4 wins. They weren't the most dominant team, right? They're different people, different kids, fill in the slots. Let's go. Minnesota the university and their programs seem to be fine with just keeping people enough to come to the stadium, and we're happy.
Yeah, I mean that's why you never really see a major overhaul in coaching staffs or just philosophies. Like they never seem to change their approach to recruiting or anything like that. Obviously, the Gophers football has been solid, but not over the top good these last couple of years. But it's even more dire in the basketball world for the Gophers, right? Like we kind of don't even expect 14 wins, and that's like 500. So
we hope we do well in the not the NCAA tournament, but the other one. That's what we hope for.
The NIT,
NIT. I got to fly. We're out of time. Bus, how do I pick up Hard Headed Sports? I know you guys are doing this. You're busting it down every week. How do I get it?
Yep, our episode is actually dropping tonight, and it will be available for free on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify.
Appreciate you, Bus.
If it's your turn to host a game, Grandpa's Barbecue suggests you